This was very, very disconcerting watching this game right here. Without SGA, the Thunder shot 56% from the floor. 56% from the floor. 53% from beyond the arc. They had assists on 33 of 49 made field goals. And at one point led by as much as 29 points in this game. And the Suns played everybody. I'm sorry, man. This is really, really difficult to watch. You know, losing a game, especially in OKC, losing a game to the Thunder, there's no shame in that, even without SGA. But, man, not being competitive for the most part, I did not see that coming.
Said it on Friday. You lose to Oklahoma City. This is before the game, obviously, and there's a way you can lose to Oklahoma City where it's not like the sky is falling because they are one of the best teams in the NBA for a reason. And yes, SGA is an MVP candidate, but they have a really good team outside of SGA. But to just get blown out and to never really even be in it, I don't know how you can look at that and be like, oh, but they'll be fine in the playoffs. Well, who are you going to play in the playoffs? You're going to play in Oklahoma City, or you're going to play, for whatever reason, they keep beating Denver. But, I mean, you're going to play good teams in the playoffs. Or, Wolf, you might not even make the playoffs because now you're closer to 9th than you are to 6th.
Yeah, you know, the narrative that is out there, and I've been wondering about this narrative myself, brothers, about whether or not, okay, listen, when the playoffs start, you know, the big three, and here we go, and the intensity level, and you know what, they're going to rise to the occasion. I do not see that and do not believe that anymore. I do not.
There's certain series that you could convince me. You know, let's say they get into the 6th spot, and in 3 weeks, it's kind of been back and forth. But, you know, it's not really a whole lot different than it is now. I don't know that anything's going to happen in the next 8 games that's going to change completely how we feel about this team. But if you're telling me they're starting a best-of-7 series with the Timberwolves, I still think the Suns can pull that off. If you're telling me they're playing, I don't know, man. I don't know that I would pick them over Oklahoma City. I'd have to see something against the Clippers. I don't know about against Dallas. Like, this is starting to get dicey. And again, the problem is they're more likely to be playing in the play-in now than any of these anyway.
Yeah, you know, once again, the prove-it mentality is what we continue to take in the Wolf League compound. Prove it, prove it, prove it. At this point in time, it is time for you to prove that you guys are a team, and you're going to go out there and you're going to compete with everything that you've got, and the talent is there. That's the part that blows your mind. The talent is there, but everything else that comes with being on a team appears to be absent, and it's super hard. Now, once again, based on earnings, you have to understand, when I talk about the Phoenix Suns, whom I love, we love our Phoenix Suns, yet at the same time, when I talk about them, the juxtaposition of where my expectation was before this season started, think about it right now, brothers, where your expectation was for the Phoenix Suns before the season started and where it is right now.
There was that stretch
my goodness,
from the day after Christmas where they went on that run where it ended up being like, what was it, like 26 games or something, and it was a really good record.
19-7.
People were still looking and saying, "Oh, what's wrong with the Suns?" I told you I did a radio hit in Kansas City, and the first question they asked me, and I think it was the day after the Super Bowl, was, "Hey, what's wrong with the Suns?" I was like, "Didn't you guys just win the Super Bowl?" And also, the Suns are playing, you know, they're winning a lot of games, but now in their last 22 games, they're 12-10. And my big thing when they were on that winning streak was this is a sizable portion of the season, 26 games. That's almost a third of the season. Well, 22 games is more than a quarter of the season, and they are 12-10 in this stretch. And could they flip the switch? I mean, they have the talent. I'm going to keep saying that until their season's over. They have the talent to do it, but we really haven't seen them do it, so it almost feels ridiculous to say they're going to.
So once again, why is this so depressing right now? I never thought this would be a team that lacked intensity, played up and down to their opponent's standard, wallowed their way through the season. Honestly, I never thought this would be them, ever. Something is not right inside that locker room, and more times than not, it may have something to do with a player chemistry situation that is inside that locker room, or a disconnect between the player and the coach relationship. It's either player chemistry inside of that locker room, or it's a player-coach situation right now. And when I say player-coach, I'm not saying just one player. I'm just saying a disconnect between what the coach and the coaching staff is trying to do and what the players are willing to absorb and regurgitate. It's either something with the players inside between them, or it's something with the player-coach relationship when you've got a team that underachieves, right? And right now, I think we'd all agree the Suns are a team that have underachieved, correct? Isn't that, I mean, again, my expectation was they were going to compete for a world championship. And I know everyone says, well, Wolf, wait till they get into the postseason. Wait till they just wait, man. They're going to flip the switch.
I don't know that everybody says that anymore.
Okay, I'm just saying, for people that still are clinging to that, can I just tell you, man, that's not how it works. It isn't.
I get it if you want to cling to that, but the problem that you're really going to run into at this point is they're tied for 7th with Sacramento. They're 2 games back of New Orleans and Dallas. So it's not like, hey, if they just win their next game, they'll be back in the top 6. Like, no, you're going to need to win some games and get some help, and time's running out. And then the really scary thing is they're only a game and a half up on the Lakers, who are playing a little bit better. And if you drop down into 9th, you are legitimately playing a one-and-done game against the Warriors just to have a shot to move into the playoffs. You'd still have to win another game after that. I mean, if you're in the difference between 8th and 9th, if you are 9th, you'll play Golden State. If you lose, your season's over. If you win, you'll play either Sacramento or the Lakers. And if you lose, your season's over. So you're going to have 2 do-or-die games if you're in 9th place. And you're only a game and a half up on the Lakers right now. And I don't know the Lakers' schedule off the top of my head, but I guarantee you the Suns' schedule is more difficult.
Yeah.
And the real issue, Wolf, is Brandon Ingram's out tonight for New Orleans. So when the other team's missing one of their best players, the Suns are in trouble.
Okay, beware. Yes, start ringing the bells right now. Once again, I'm big into team chemistry, and I'm big into team identity and who you are. I absolutely love it. And when I think about what I thought this team was going to be, with all of the talent, the big 3, and the talent that they had, yet I thought because of Frank Vogel and the defense of Frank Vogel, in the fact that this philosophy was going to permeate the big 3 and they were going to regurgitate it and be an example and model it for everybody else, I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be great. We just need exposure to each other. We just need that. The big 3 just needs exposure to each other, and then we're going to start seeing it gel. It has not solidified. It hasn't. It is up and it is down. The question is why? And the answer typically is not a good thing. Can they fix it? Yes, a player relationship, if it's a player-on-player chemistry issue, they can fix that. They can. A player coach, they can flip of the switch. When we talk flip of the switch, a player-coach relationship can suddenly take hold as well. It can change. But right now, man, they have issues.
The NBA play-in round starts 2 weeks from tomorrow. Like, that's not something you want to be the season ends that they could still turn it around. But I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to, because there seems to be this misconception of, they'll just flip the switch when the playoff starts. That usually is happening now. You're usually flipping the switch leading into the playoffs. It's not as they throw the ball up in the air for game 1 of the playoffs, or certainly game 1 of the play-in, where you really don't want to be involved.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.